Good afternoon all, it's John, the old geek. And as you can see, I'm in a very different pose to usual. And that's because I've just had a rotund bearded gentleman come to my door and bring me an interesting package. Last year, I turned 50 and my players backed a Kickstarter to get me my 50th birthday present. I remember at a gaming session I mentioned I'd seen the Kickstarter and I had this horrified look from one of them as if to say, no John, no, ignore it. And that sort of set a few bells ringing, and of course that's because they were backing it for me. Now the Kickstarter has been, a few of you have had it sort of 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it was delivered to one of my players' houses and we've not seen each other for a few weeks. So today, he dropped it off. Very kind of him. He was that rotund bearded gentleman. He's had to disappear. Otherwise he'd have been featuring on this video as well. But as you can see, it is this lovely Call of Cthulhu 40th anniversary classic edition. Lots of glorious Lovecraft goodness. And I'm going to dig into it and find out what's in this box. I have no idea how much it cost them, but I must say thank you very much to my players. I am eternally grateful for this nearly 7-month late birthday present. Doesn't matter that it's late. Here we go, let's dive in. We may get doggy bombed at some point because she has full reign of the front room of the house. In fact, she's just heard the word doggy and she is currently prowling around. Alright, missed. Might have to hear her tail in the background. Here we have this lovely, solid weighty box. Look at that. Look at that. Now I play 7th edition. I run 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. I have played 6th edition in the past. I believe this is a reprinting of the 2nd edition, well, the 2nd edition material. And all I know of the earlier editions is that there were very few differences. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all very cross-compatible. I made a few changes for 7th, but basically just multiplied everything by 5. So, what's in this box? I can see there's a lot in this box. I'm not going to read all of this, but it does say here, give a pronunciation guide for Cthulhu. We say it Cthulhu. Lovecraft said it Cthulhu or Tlulu. It's Cthulhu to me. It's Cthulhu to me. Let's see what we've got then. Old school character sheets. No fuss, no frills, very basic. 1981, 83. Yeah, that's how character sheets always used to look. And you know what? You don't need all the florid nonsense on some of the modern ones. You just want something that's nice and clear. And that's as clear as anything. So look at that. Just simple, sensible, easy to use. Exactly how you want it to be. Call of Cthulhu Classic Edition. Look at that artwork. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, first page I open it to. Marvellous, marvellous. I'm going to enjoy reading this. Mike has promised he hasn't read too many of the adventures, so hopefully I'll be able to run them. We will find out. But, as you can see, it's just simple, black and white, clear, crisp. I know the current books, the 7th edition books, are beautiful, but there is something to be said for just no distractions. Obviously, I've not read it, so I don't know how it all reads, whether it's all fully understandable. I know that there were issues with early versions of Call of Cthulhu being comprehensible at times, but that's, I like it. I like it. Yes. What's this? It's a boat. Oh, it's the Hindenburg. Oh, wow. Does that mean we've got an adventure set in the Hindenburg? That would be awesome. Awesome. Railway coaches. I've already got this sort of thing in my Horror on the Orient Express, but this is clearly a more standard railway coach. Orient Express, of course, being the height of luxury. This is a source book for the 1920s. Famous people of the 20s. Trotsky, Roosevelt, Rockefeller, Houdini, Hitler, Lenin. Calendar for 1920. Random Nigerian city. Skada Blay in the Orkney Islands. Wonder if this. I'm guessing this will have some sort of reference, some sort of link with the adventures, because we do have a few of them. And this is one I've not owned before, Shadows of Yog-Sothoth. Global campaign to save mankind. Probably where that's going to come in useful. Easter Island. Look at that. Look at that. I've read mixed things about Shadows of Yog-Sothoth, but it'll be lovely for me to feast my eyes on it for the first time and so I can give my own opinion. But it's lovely to have. I love this old artwork. Beautiful. Doggy making noises in the background. Missed. Behave yourself. Keep worrying about her photobombing. The Asylum and Other Tales. How many adventures are in this book? Let's see whether it's a group of separate adventures. Seven situations, 7 adventures. 7 adventures in a book. About 70 pages long. Perfect, that's exactly what you want. I'd imagine most of the adventures are just one single session or 1 or 2 sessions. One of them here is 3 pages long, 2 pages long, so you'll have 1 or 2 that are a bit bigger. Yes, the biggest one being, looks like it's the Asylum itself, 17 pages, but again, nothing too wordy, nothing too overbearing. I much prefer to run adventures from shorter notes, snippets, G1 in D&D, 8 pages, but enough in there to keep everyone entertained for ages. Lovely. Cthulhu Companion, Ghastly Adventures and Erudite Lore. Have a look. Right, there's some adventures at the back of this, but at the start there's notes about Mesoamerican religion, notes about the Necronomicon, sourcebook editions, so like a version of Unearthed Arcana, a bit of sort of errata and added stuff. And again, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, adventures or adventure hooks. I haven't read them, so I don't know how much detail I go into. But Paper Chase, that's redone for 7th edition, I do know that. Let's have a look. Sanity quiz. Ah, right, it's not all adventures. There's poems, sanity quiz. If you read all the words below, you should roll for a D3 sanity loss. Death scenes. Ah, so these sort of things are things you can use when running your game. Extra descriptions. Stand-up house. I don't use figures for Call of Cthulhu, so that's going to be no use for me. But nice to have the people who do use that sort of thing. So there aren't many extra adventures. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They do look to be, yeah, 4 or 5 pages, nice and short. Let the DM go to the keeper, go to town, have some fun. I'm hoping you can all hear me because I have no idea how this is coming through because this is being filmed on my phone rather than my usual setup on the computer. So it might be, the sound quality might be appalling. But at least the visuals are good. You can see my belly, my t-shirt, and my knees, and these lovely books. Trail of Yog-Sothoth. This one adventure. It's like a big adventure. 64 pages. Yeah, 64 pages. There's tons of adventure material. Fragments of Fear, the second Cthulhu companion. Or poems. So what's in this? Two scenarios, and it looks like there's more sort of setting and just general assistance for the keeper. Poetry, animals, lions and tigers and bears, etc. I'm going to have to get used to the way they do the stats here if I'm going to run this older edition, because I'm used to seeing everything in the way 7th edition shows it. This looks like items. Cthulhu Grimoire. I'm reading things backwards. I often do that. I often go straight to the back and flick back to the front. Dice. Very pretty dice. I do like that sort of colour. It's nice and dark. Looks like they're well coloured in as well. Very good. Very good. Yes. Inflict some pain on the characters with those at some point. Maps. Who doesn't love big, fold out maps? Eh, look at that. Look at that. Call of Cthulhu world map. That is beautiful. I am planning eventually to move all my computer and recording stuff up into our attic, so that I can have a bit more space, maybe put a board behind me when I'm doing the recording and stuff, and maybe get a few decent things to go on the wall, make it all look nice. That's certainly a candidate, as will the poster that's coming with the Dark Tower Kickstarter, which I've backed recently. But that's gorgeous. What's on the other side? City of Arkham. I Yes. This is good. Size comparisons. All silhouettes are to scale. Right. So, things you encounter. That's a human. That's a man. There's Amigo. Yeah, similar sort of size. Deep ones. Similar sort of size. Cthulhu. Yes. Elder things. I've just finished listening to the audiobook of Mountains of Madness. And having that elder thing, they just show that twice the size of a human gives a good perspective. I like this sort of thing. That's good. That's something that could go on the wall as well. There's a lot of stuff in here. I've no idea how much this Kickstarter cost them. Thank you again to them. They're good chaps. I had hoped Mike would have to stay and be on this unboxing, but he had to get off. Screen. I've already got the 7th edition screen, which is very solid. So this is. I probably wouldn't use this at the table because it is just thick paper rather than card, but it looks just nice, simple layout. I mean, I'm not overly familiar with 2E rules, so how useful these various charts are. And no doubt I'll find out. Character figures. Nice to have. Don't use them. More character figures. Nice to have. I won't use them. Theatre of the Mind Cthulhu. That's the way to play Cthulhu. Theatre of the Mind. D&D depends on the group, depends on the system, depends on how you're doing it, depends on how the players and the DM want to run it. All power to people who like running on a board. I don't, but sometimes you have to, because that's what how the group are best at working. But Call of Cthulhu, always run it Theatre of the Mind. These must be handouts. Various adventures, yes they are, and I'm not going to change the order that they all come in. Look how many there are. Look at that. Players love handouts. Call of Cthulhu is a wonderful game for handouts. Letters and these different handwriting on it, all of them, snippets from newspapers. And they all look so authentic, which really helps with the atmosphere of the game. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Must say, big, thick, heavy box, tons and tons upon tons of stuff in there. That's one hell of a Kickstarter package. And if it reads half as well as it looks and feels, we're going to have a lot of fun with this. First time I've ever done an unboxing. Let me know what you think of it. Hopefully you've heard what I've been saying, because I have no idea how good the sound is on the phone. But once again, that's been me, the Old Geek, and I'll see you again soon.